You're listening to Mr. Radio, and I'm your host, Marshall. On Sunday, September 23rd, 1990, an exhibit titled Watercolors by Jim Tanaka, a retrospective, was held at the Alpine Community House in Alpine, New Jersey. The show, curated by Suzanne Katzman, featured over 50 of Tanaka's paintings, as well as his iconic full-size and mini jazz posters.
I've only got 5 here. Actually, there's 6 posters, but I didn't have the last one. These are what I call them the mini posters. Sell separately, as they are. And you can mat them like this.
Katzman, who had worked in the art world for the Paul Rosenberg galleries, commented on some of the paintings.
The next one over there is one of his very special paintings. To me, it reminds me of a Gauguin. And this one is, I see it as a bird, and I call it chimère.
The retrospective attracted hundreds of visitors to the Alpine Community House. Born in Reno, Nevada, Jim Tanaka grew up in Los Angeles, California, where he attended the Chouinard Art Institute. Upon moving east, he continued his studies at the Pratt Institute and Art Students League in New York City under the tutelage of such eminent painters as Robert Brockman, Rico Lebrun, Claire Romano, and René Bouche. He also studied with one of the famous woodblock artists of Japan, Fumio Kitaoka. A former resident of Rockland County, New York, Tanaka had his works exhibited locally by the Rockland Center for the Arts, the Asian American Invitational, Pepsi-Cola, Sotheby Park Burnett Gallery, and the Jazz Center in New York. On March 17, 2002, I had the honor of interviewing him for a Princeton web essay, and he spoke to me about his early life and career as an artist for Walt Disney.
I was born in Nevada, near Reno, Nevada, 1917. My brother knew a friend who had a friend who worked at Disney, and they were looking for artists. So I went for an interview, and I got the job. When I was 60 years old, I retired from Disney, and I started doing some freelance work. I went to an art school in Los Angeles. I was always interested in art. I thought maybe if I went to the art school, I would learn a lot more about, what they did, how they did it, and so forth. So it was after Disney that I went to art school, because I never had a chance to go to art school. Didn't have any money, actually.
He also spoke to me about his jazz series at the Turning Point in Piermont, New York, many years ago, where he found the muse for his jazz poster series, which have been extremely popular as evidenced by the many online venues selling his work.
That was the first time that I had a chance to meet with people who were in that field, selling posters and original paintings, and that's the first contact I had was right there, and it was a very exciting period for me. Yeah, I've always been interested in jazz since I was in high school, I guess. I didn't play any instruments, and I wasn't in with a jazz group, but I loved jazz, and I always went to jazz shows in New York, in the Village, and there I got to know the feeling of what jazz was about, and I really enjoyed it.
Stompin' at the Savoy is a prime example of how jazz influenced his art.
Stomping at the Savoy is the title of a song. I titled, I guess, a lot of my paintings from popular songs.
The University of Michigan Museum of Art houses Calligraphic Horse, an outstanding example of his work with pen and watercolor. Tanaka's works are also in the collections of the Revlon Corporation, McGraw-Hill Publishing Company, and the Hartford Travelers Insurance Company. Tanaka concluded our interview by commenting about how he was returning to creating abstract art.
I'm 85 years old now, and I haven't done very much, though I'm thinking of going back to painting, and the thing that I'm interested in right now are abstract paintings. I found an old painting, and I was looking at it, and I said, it's pretty good. I think maybe I'll go back to abstract painting. And so I'm going to start doing that.
Jim Tanaka died in 2008 of cardiac failure. He was 91 years old. listening to Mr. Radio, and I'm your host, Marshall. This program was written and produced by Marshall. Our theme music was played by Ululation. Mr. Radio is available wherever you get your podcasts, including iTunes and Spotify. Subscribe to our podcast and leave us a review. And don't forget to tune in next week for another episode of Mr. Radio.